Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to PA's Perpetual Testing. As always, I'm PA.
If you've cut yourself at all in the course of these tests, you might have noticed that your blood is pure gasoline. That's normal. We've been shooting you with an invisible laser that's supposed to turn blood into gasoline, so all that means is it's working.
Huh. Alright. So right off the bat, it looks like we're going to be using the Pneumatic diversity vent, or at least something that is very similar to it. Because we have a bunch of turrets to deal with for this. But that's, you know what, that's actually alright. We can deal with just a couple of turrets going through, so long as we're actually able to take them out in a reasonable fashion. And it's always good to see... Oh, and it's a crusher. It's always good to see old test elements that we don't really get to see anymore make a return and have some fun with it overall. What in the world? I seem to be unable to stand on this button because I'm not square-shaped. Fair enough. Though I have little to no idea how I'm supposed to get through this area without dying. I'm thinking I'm supposed to deactivate this emancipation grid, which will allow me to keep the pneumatic diversity vent from earlier. By the way, just an area I have to run across, so there's speed gel on the floor. Wonderful idea, love it. Makes it a lot easier to get around, I'll tell you that much. I've just got to be careful with all these crushers. Alright, what do we got? Oh. Well, that's just great. I have the ability to get one of two spheres every single time I press that button. Do I have a... I don't even have a single area to use. I don't have a single... What about now? There we go. Oh. And it's gone. Alright. You know what? Fine. Let's move that one too. Alright. Good times. Alright, two spheres gone. Easy enough. We've got our orange portal there. I'll place my blue portal there. Oh, I can't. Shit. It's a little bit of preference to just keep my blue portal as the one that I use as my primary that I keep on an object. My orange portal is the secondary that I use to activate stuff. I mean, because activating stuff with a right click is just so much easier. Do you think it's kind of like, oh geez, hello turrets. Please stop that. It's kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. What in the world is going on there? It's a single cube that dropped? Oh. And after a certain amount of time, it's only giving me a certain amount of time to go grab the cube. Oh god. Okay, so I've got to be ready when that thing comes out here. And I've got to stop it. Oh shit. Okay, a little bit harder than I would have thought. Can I hop through here? Yeah, I can, technically. That doesn't help me much. But I certainly can jump through. Alright, so pneumatic bullets, presumably because pneumatic test chamber and bullets in another autosave. Brilliant, I love you. Keep putting out those autosaves and I promise you I will keep appreciating them. I mean, that's not a joke either. There's 100% guaranteed. What? Really, it has to be the pull tube? I have to pull it through the pneumatic tube because it is slightly off-center. So there is no chance that it's going to fall through there without it. That's just great. That's brilliant. I love it. Which means I'm going to have to actually grab this out of... Okay, the pneumatic vent. Good, okay, one cube, safe and sound. Not gonna mess with it, just gonna place it on this button to do what? Deactivate that grid, I'm guessing? Yeah, looks like it. So blue portal is currently being used to get the pneumatic diversity vent. And now I've got a second cube, and I needed the both of them, and that dispenses a new one. Alright, this is actually fairly simple. Just a matter of figuring out ways to get around the turrets and figuring out ways to get to the cubes. Regrettably, not much of a puzzle here, though. It's all fairly well laid out, and to its credit, I mean, it's all fairly well laid out. Not a detriment to the test in the slightest, but on the other side of that, I mean, we're making a test chamber, but there's not really much we're testing.
Congratulations! The simple fact that you're standing here listening to me means you've made a glorious contribution to science.
And there's the same voice clip from last time.
As founder and CEO of Aperture Science, I thank you for your participation and hope we can count on you for another round of tests.
But of course, Cave. Speaking of, I think we're actually going to go on to the next test chamber here. And actually the last test chamber in the past. That is the PAST, which I can't remember what it stands for either. I'm terrible with acronyms, alright? I'm sorry, it's a bad habit. I can remember the acronym, but I can never remember what it stands for. Anyway, I'll see you all in the next chamber. Alright, one final test chamber in the PAST. And this one is called Why Do We Fall? And immediately deadly water. So, well, who knows? Who knows? It could work out. Could just be, you know, preemptively hating on a test. Even though, okay, so that's fairly safe thus far. Just about the only way that I would have gotten into that deadly water is by walking into it. See, that's another thing. It's preventing me from... Okay, so I've got a cube here. It's preventing me from falling in so long as I move in a reasonable fashion. Gives me more than enough time to just walk across comfortably. And then it stops me from doing it again. That's good. That's actually... It's a really good way to use... Oh god. Hold on, I think I just spotted something. I'm going to have to, one, perpetual fall. Am I falling about evenly? There we go, that's a bit closer. Turn around. What am I aiming for here? I'm assuming I'm just aiming for that. Holy shit. Okay, and then this is here to make sure that you don't accidentally fall off the edge. Brilliant. Alright, good map-making mechanics all around here thus far. Plus, I mean, a correctly execute... Oh, wow, that was actually really fun. I want to do that again. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Whee! Alright, so an easy way to get back to the original area, just in case we ever need to, and I'm guessing that we're going to need to. Presumably for the cube that we left on the button over there, though I can't be absolutely certain of this. But I really can't imagine what else it would be. Okay, and we also need to fly up there to activate what? Another cube dropper? Or the same cube dropper? Whatever. Whichever it's supposed to be, let me just go ahead and hop up to that button. Press. There we go. No idea what that did. Oh, it activated something temporarily. What? It activated... Follow the line. Down there. It... Oh. Oh my. Okay. That's actually something interesting. So what I'm going to have to do is a series of separate portal falls. What I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to place a portal here. I'm going to have to fall over there. Then while that's down temporarily, I'll have to place a portal there, fall through, get the extra velocity, and then fly up there to grab what appears to be a sphere. I think. Then again, it might be simpler and I'm just overthinking it, and chances are that this is actually the case. But you know what? I'd like to imagine that there's some vastly overcomplicated series of portal jumps that I'm going to have to make simply because the idea of being able to make them is pretty cool. I mean, I always liked the idea of staying in the air and having to make portals while you're moving within reason. I mean, precision portaling at high speed is difficult, So being able to just create a bunch of portals in quick succession is actually a pretty cool concept. The only problem is that, oh shoot, which was it? There's a test chamber by... I'm trying to remember his name. Give me a second, I got this. I'm gonna have to press that button again. Okay, so I want to create my blue portal there. Oh, I missed. Might as well activate it whenever I come back through. Okay, blue again. Blue. Ah, I missed. Alright, let's try that again. That's the wrong wall. Shit. Why am I so terrible at floor location? There we go, blue. Oh, and okay, I didn't even have to go any higher, I just need to jump up there, and then it drops a free cube for me. Brilliant, wonderful, and I just need to figure out a way to get them both across without dying. That's actually fairly simple, and, you know, oh well, simple's still fine. Plus, I mean, I get to do the long executed portal fall once more. So, let's go ahead and accelerate ourselves accordingly. Flip around. Wait, I have to look this way. See, like, this is simpler because the portal that we have to place is not as far from the original portal location. If you're trying to do a portal fall, and especially if you're trying to do an infinite portal fall, one of the biggest disadvantages you have is the fact that precision portaling at distance is nearly impossible, which means that you need to place your portalable surface in a location where the player will need to, or where the player will have a large surface area to fire at without it becoming too imprecise to work. This could either mean that you have a large landing area and a large wall that you can use, or in the case of this, it keeps a lot of the surface area of the single... What in the world? Okay, I think I can actually grab this as I'm portal falling. So I'm just going to stick this here real quick. Let's stick this right next to it. What was I saying? Or as you can do with this test chamber, and as he's done with this test chamber, you can make sure that the player has a large surface area exposed to them, because this is at the angle that it's at, pretty much the entire square is at the same position for us with a very small amount of mouse movement for most of the infinite fall, which is a really big help. Then just grab this as I'm flying. Portal 2's grab mechanics were much improved over Portal 1's, though it appears that I did still manage to lose that cube regardless. So let's go ahead and try this one more time. When you're grabbing a cube like this, you just want to grab it as you head through the portal, and then you just want to make sure that you don't accidentally lose it somehow. In this case, I'm actually going to have to go place my portal again. Okay, hold up. Not safe. Please stop. Okay, safe. Once more. Oh, but now I have to get the cube across again because I messed up my portaling. Damn it. That is a little bit frustrating. Oh well. You know what? I can deal with frustrating because the mechanics are solid enough that I haven't fallen into the water yet. And that is a really good sign when a test chamber is solid enough that the water is not a punishment but is merely a deterrent, as discussed at length. I actually looked at the length and it was something like a third of the last episode. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to go on quite as long as I evidently did talking about that, but it's just, it's such a big part of proper test making that I feel like it warranted a bit of explanation as to why I was so serious about deadly traps. Because a lot of people will think something to the effect of, well, yeah, the traps may be deadly, but on the other hand, it's also just, I don't know what you'd call it. The traps are deadly, but it shouldn't be a problem if you're able to do the test chamber. And yeah, that is the case, but I mean, it shouldn't be a problem if you're able to do the test chamber. It also shouldn't be a problem, period. is really the issue. And that's what a lot of people didn't seem to grasp about map making in general, and about the Perpetual Testing initiative as a whole. But, hey, I think that's about enough talk about all that.
Astronaut, war hero, and/or Olympian. With your help, we're gonna change the world.
I still don't know why that clip speeds up so dramatically at the very end there, but plenty of people have used it, so I'm assuming it's just a bug with the actual dialogue and not a bug with the replayer or whatever it is, or the Portal 2 engine or anything like that. So, yeah, that was a really good test chamber. Bmaster, you did a really great job on that one. The one just before this is pretty unmemorable. Like, I can sort of recall what's going on, but I mean, it was just go here, do this thing. I mean, it was a lot like a little bit of an adventure, you know. Hey, we've got to go get MacGuffins A, B, and C to complete the chamber, and then we can get through. Complete with deadly traps of the crushers. And in this case, I can sort of see the crushers and the turrets, because the main deterrent is to be dead, but if you're doing it right, you never should be put in a situation where that's even a possibility. Because the crushers are so slow that the timing really isn't that difficult, and the actual turrets themselves, you can largely stay out of the range. It required a little bit of funky work with the quick portaling, like placing the pneumatic diversity vent behind them, but the fact that you actually use the pneumatic diversity vent in more than just a proof of concept level is pretty cool in and of itself. So, good job, well done on both of these tests, and everyone watching, I'll see you all tomorrow for the next episode in the Perpetual Testing Initiative. Have a good one.